Coming up on the Paper Talk today, we'll be looking at potential incomings. United have been linked with the striker from guess where? Ajax. I know, I can't believe it myself. Also, what's happening with some of our players' futures? We know that Jadon Sancho's gone on loan to Dortmund. What's happening with Hannibal Mejbri? What's happening with Anthony Martial? Let's find out. Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford and it's a little bit cold, so make sure you got your parkas on. Loads of stories to get through, so we'll crack on. Jadon Sancho, the Jadon Sancho saga, mini saga, has come to an end. He has completed his move to Borussia Dortmund. He's gone back to Borussia Dortmund till the end of the season. It doesn't look like there's an option to buy there. Lots of social media posts and interviews doing the rounds with him. He said a few things that it was just disappointing that he's saying them about Dortmund and he's not saying them about Manchester United. He said, you know, he wants to score loads of goals and assists. It's great to see his teammates again. He wants to play football with a smile on his face. And whether you like Jadon Sancho or rate Jadon Sancho, it is a bit sad that it hasn't worked out at United and he isn't saying these things about this club here. He isn't helping us get into the Champions League and getting goals and assists, because I stood here many times over the last few years talking about him being linked with the club, how much we wanted him, all these sort of transfer reports and rumours that were doing the rounds in like 2020, 2021. Obviously we got him and it was so exciting to get this young player who'd scored, I think, or had 36 goal involvements in 39 games in his last season at Dortmund. Came to United, didn't really happen for him. And you can look at it, you can go, okay, he had different managers. He had Ole, he had Ragnick, he had Carrick briefly, then he had Ten Hag. There's different, you know, he sort of came in, then we signed Ronaldo. There was just, it wasn't a great sort of stable club to come into. But ultimately, he should have done better. And the whole sort of episode with Ten Hag, where Ten Hag said he wasn't training in the right way, and he called him out on social media, called the manager out on social media, it was completely avoidable. And I look at Jadon Sancho in this and I think he should have done more to sort of reconcile with the manager, to get back in the team, to fight for his place. Adam McCullough made a great point on Off the Bar yesterday about other players, the likes of Harry Maguire and one or two others who have been sort of looked at as surplus to requirements. Scott McTominay's another one, and yet have fought and got themselves back in the team and become important to the side. Jadon Sancho never really seemed like he was going to do that. He's gone to Dortmund. I wish him well. I hope it works out for him. I don't expect to see him at Manchester United. Certainly not playing for Manchester United again. I know the loan move will end at the end of the season, but I think that could be sort of him putting himself in a shop window maybe and getting a move elsewhere. Get involved in the chat and the comments and let us know what you think. Another player who could be going in the summer is Anthony Martial. I think Calcio Mercato out of Italy have linked him with a move to Inter Milan. It's been picked up in a few other papers as well. He's been linked with a move this summer to Inter Milan. He hasn't signed an extension. He hasn't been given us an extension. Ten Hag mentioned, I think it was last week, that they were sort of talking to Anthony Martial. It was all a bit vague. And people going, oh, that means he's going to get a new deal. Oh, why are we giving him a new deal when he's always injured and he's not had a good season in about 4 years? What's wrong with you? Or about 3 years, whatever it is. It doesn't look like he's going to get a new deal. It looks like he could be going in the summer. I know everything is a little bit up in the air at the minute because Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos have come in and there's all this sort of uncertainty as to which direction the club's going to go. But I'd be very surprised if Anthony Martial got a new deal. Let's not forget, he's on mega money as it is. He isn't playing a lot of football. He's had this illness as well. I know he's not played recently. He's had this illness that's been going on for a few weeks. But even before that, he's had a bad injury record. Do United want to extend it? Is that the kind of deals that United are looking to do under the new part owners? I don't think it is. So I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony Martial goes in the summer. I think it's probably best for all concerned if he does. I liked Martial when he came. He's had some good seasons, but more recently his good games have been almost few and far between. So I think, yeah, it is time to move on. In terms of another player who could be going on loan with a permanent move, Hannibal Mejbri. I've been talking about him quite a lot over the last few days. Now, it looks like he's going to Sevilla. I think I've seen this. I think I've seen it in the Mail. I've seen it elsewhere, that he's been linked heavily with this move to Sevilla, and it could be done any moment now. It might be done by the time you're watching this. But in the Liverpool Echo, they were still saying that it's not completely shut, the idea of him going to Everton. That could still happen. So we'll have to wait and see. It looks very likely he's going to go to Sevilla, and there could be, according to reports, a buy option in there. So this could be the end of Hannibal Mejbri at Manchester United. We'll have to wait and see. And by all means, get involved in the chat in the comments and let us know what you think. I'll be a little bit disappointed if he does go on loan with a view to a permanent deal. I still think there's a future here for Hannibal Mejbri. I think he should be given an opportunity at United. Maybe not this season if we've got other players coming back, the likes of Casemiro, Kobbie Mainoo, who's obviously done well, Christian Eriksen's coming back, Mason Mount, we've still got to wait for him to come back into the team as well. But I think there could be a future for Hannibal Mejbri. I'd like to see him go out on loan and then come back next season and fight for his place. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. We'll have to wait and see, though, because, like I say, there's such an air of uncertainty around everything at the minute when it comes to Manchester United. You just don't know. In terms of incomings, a couple of incoming stories. Brian Brobbey, this is a kid from Ajax, amazingly. He's 21 years old, goal-scoring striker. I think he's got, 12 goals in 24 games this season in all competitions. So a decent return. It's another player that Erik Ten Hag knows. I think he was at Ajax under Erik Ten Hag. I think he went on loan and he was at RB Leipzig he went to. And he came back, did well for Ajax. I think he scored like 7 goals in 12 games or something to help Ajax win the Arriva Divise. But the worrying thing with this is, and this kid might be mint, he really might be, and he might be just what we need. It's that whole thing of another player from Ajax, another player that Erik Ten Hag has known. Sooner or later, you've got to look elsewhere for players. Now, I'm not saying I've got anything against players from Ajax. I'm not saying that you can't buy players from Ajax. Lisandro Martinez is an absolute fantastic defender, and we got him from Ajax. It just is a little bit concerning that it always seems to be players from either Ajax or that Erik Ten Hag has worked with in the Dutch league. We need to be looking a little bit further afield, and hopefully, with this new part ownership, this new sort of footballing direction we're going in, we will have a better scouting network. We will be able to find players from the manager other than ones he knows from Holland. And nothing against players from Holland or from Ajax. It's one of those where you see we're linked with another player from Ajax, you go, really? Is there no one else? Okay. But like I say, if you know a lot about this kid, get involved in the comments in the chat if you think he's what Manchester United do need, because we do need a striker. It doesn't look like it's going to be in January, that move will be in the summer if it happens at all. But again, it's just that whole thing of, we keep going for these players that Erik Ten Hag's worked with, and sooner or later you've got to go elsewhere. I mean, when Sir Alex Ferguson came in, he didn't just get players from Aberdeen, he got players from all over. So I think you need to look at what you're doing there. Another player we've been linked with is Archie Gray. This is the wunderkind from Leeds. He's 17. I think he's played about 40 times or something silly, despite being only a kid. Linked with Manchester United and... Not 40 times, I think there's a bit less than that, but he has played a lot of games. Been linked with, moved to Manchester United and to Liverpool as well. I think the Mirror have picked up on this one. Now, there's always this danger in there when it's someone from Leeds, the whole scenario, well, are Leeds going to sell us one of their best players, their best young prospects? There is a real rivalry there. We saw it when we were linked with Calvin Phillips. I think he more or less came out himself and said he won't move to Manchester United. We have signed players from Leeds, though. Alan Smith, Rio Ferdinand, some bloke called Eric something. I don't know much about him, but I think he did okay. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility that we can get a player from Leeds, especially if the price is right. Don't know loads about him, but that could be a signing, or the type of signing United will look to more in the future, because we keep hearing these noises, don't we, that we're not going to be going out there and spending the 80-90 million pounds on players. We're going to be sort of buying players for a little bit less, maybe players that are a little bit younger. That could be a direction that we go in. So a 17-year-old, I think the figures being bandied around 40 million, which is a lot for a 17-year-old who's, played a handful of games in the Championship, whatever, but hasn't got loads and loads of experience. Obviously, he's only 17. But that could be one for the future, and it could be the way that Manchester United do business moving forward. I'm going to wrap it up there. Make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. We've got loads of videos coming up. We've got loads of videos already up. Go and have a look at Off the Bar. Myself, Stephen Howson, Joe Smith and Adam McCullough. We were talking about not just Jadon Sancho, but wingers, also defenders as well, and how highly ranked certain defenders are. So make sure you go and check out that out. We'll be back later on today. We'll have myself and Stephen Howson with Mark Critchley from The Athletic. He's coming in, so we're going to be chatting to him about Manchester United's transfer business in January, whether we're going to do any. Plus, we'll have the preview up. I think that's going to go out tomorrow morning as well. So don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe. I'm Jay Motty. This has been The Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.